Hello and welcome in, everyone. First of all, we hope you enjoyed the all-new update pre-show, something new we're trying out. Definitely have to give a shout out to Finch, Tina, and Buns. That was a lot of fun. But now it is time for the Trickster God update show, where we're going over everything headed your way in Smite over the next few weeks. Got a ton of balance, ton of awesome skins, and of course, what you all have been waiting for, the long-awaited Loki rework. And I'm Titan Isaiah, your host, and of course, with me, I've got my buddies from the design team to break everything down. I've got Clumsy and Pon. How are you guys doing today?
Yeah, having
I'm doing
a really
good.
good time. Excited.
Are you guys ready for the Loki rework is what I should say.
Everyone's
Yes, super excited.
All right, let's get right into it. We're going to cover the Loki rework towards the bottom of the show, but we got a lot of awesome stuff to cover first, so let's hop right into it, and let's talk about bonus balance that's heading everybody's way next Tuesday, and we'll go ahead and kick it off with gods, and we're going to start off with Amaterasu. Amaterasu is seeing a lot of pick, especially in pro play, so she's going to be seeing some nerfs to Glorious Charge. We're going to be decreasing the base damage on that ability, and then Dazzling Offensive, we're doing the same thing. So a couple of damage decreases on two of her abilities. What's going on with Ama, guys?
Yeah. So we saw a lot of success with her when she got the extra clear from her shield charge, but we didn't really offset any of her late game strength or her boxing capability. So the Glorious Charge change takes away some of that damage. By Dazzling Offensive late game is hitting the kind of top end damage she can deal, just to bring her down a little bit and bring her more in line with other warrior choices.
Cool. All right, next up, we've got Cthulhu seeing a nerf here to Sever, which is the ultimate ability number 1. We're going to be decreasing the base damage on Sever, as well as decreasing the magical power scaling by 5%. And I'll let Clumsy take it away here.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Cthulhu came out, he obviously released in a pretty strong state. Since then, we've been trying to find appropriate places to nerf him, looking at his damage, looking at the duration of his ulti. Now, that was a pretty big one, and that directly impacts how much damage he can deal over the course of the entire ulti. We still want to do a little bit of a target nerf on Sever to make sure that, especially at the late game, right, because this is a late game base damage and late scaling, he's not doing, as much damage. Guardian role, he needs to be careful with how much he can put out. So it's just small more. It's a little bit of a few tweaks.
All right, so going from a really big god to a really small god, Cupid up next, a hunter that's seeing a big rise among the ranks towards all the ADCs. We're going to be doing a nerf to Cupid here, and the healing on hearts. We're going to be decreasing the physical power scaling on the heal from 25% to 20%.
Yeah, so Cupid really just kind of like rose up after the increased damage to his wave clear capability, but he brings a lot to the team besides that. He has a good team fight ultimate, he has team sustain, and so rather than like try and tone back down that strength that we just gave him, he hasn't been really in the meta for quite some time anyway. We're just going to take away some of the healing that he brings to his team, especially the scaling late game. He can contribute kind of a large burst heal to his team, and toning that down will bring him more in line with their hunter choices.
All right, going from a physical ADC to a magical ADC up next. Freya going to be seeing some nerfs in bonus balance. We're making a change to Valkyrie's Discretion here, decreasing the base damage on the ability.
So yeah, we're talking about a couple of hunter things today. Mage ADCs as a whole has not been as much of an issue before. We think Hekate is in a much better spot. Olorun and the adjustments we made prior are pretty good. Freya, just she's still seeing a lot of competitive play in the SPL and in ranked games, so we want to touch her ulti just a little bit. It's only 10 damage, but it's per shot for her ulti, so it's going to add up a little bit, and I think it's going to make you feel a little bit more fair when you're versing against her. All
right, moving right along, let's talk about Hun Bats. Now, Hun Bats got a buff in the last update. We said we're going to keep an eye on him. Well, we kept our eye on him, and now we're scaling that back just a little bit for Fear No Evil, and we're going to be increasing the cooldown to kind of a midway mark to where it was before, and I'll let Pon take it here.
Yeah, we've seen Hunbat's in particular be very sensitive to his ultimate cooldown being adjusted. A lot of characters don't actually really respond that much to it, but Hunbat's really, really did. So we reverted a change that brought him too far down, but people were saying, no, this is still happening too often. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the middle ground between those two numbers we selected before, and then see if we need to go any further from there.
All right, and last god up for bonus balance, we've got Rama. He's been faring really, really well after the rework earlier this year. So we're going to be doing a nerf here to Astral Strike. We're going to be decreasing the slow duration from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said, Cupid and Rama have been the hunters that have really excelled. Rama specifically
Mhm.
because of the passive, and because he can get better use of those Astral Strike arrows, we wanted to make sure it's not too frustrating to play against him. Lowering that slow duration just means that now that he's getting more arrows, you're not going to be slowed as often as consecutively. There are going to be more hunter itemization changes coming up, so we just wanted to do one small targeted nerf here for Rama.
For sure. Well, that wraps it up for bonus balance. So a few nerfs targeted towards the very, very top end of competitive play.
Mhm.
So I'm excited to see how that shakes out. But let's talk about some of the awesome skins that are coming out in the bonus update next week. And we'll kick it off with Cybernetic Uller. He is going to be in the Fighting Machine chest next week. And this one looks really, really awesome. Kind of like a cyborg type skin. I believe we have the card art ready for you guys that will be popping up on screen in just a second. So what do you guys think about Cybernetic Uller?
Ooh, fancy.
I'm definitely
all,
loving the edge.
You have like the little bits of like on his armor, the shininess, the like mask that's like looks like it's a filtration system. Just
Did he
cool.
kill those guys in the back there in the card art, or is he allied with those guys?
I'm pretty sure he killed those guys, and
damn.
we've got the
Okay.
in-game turnaround that we'll be able to see that give people just a little bit of closer look on his model. And as you can see, he's got all the weapons ready to kill and take out and assassinate anybody
Oh.
that he has a contract for. Looking super sweet. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Cybernetic Uller.
I've destabilized planetary democracies and exterminated entire alien species. This should be a piece of cake.
He definitely looks like he is equipped for the job. Next up for skins in the bonus update coming out to you guys, we've got Blobkiss Bacchus. He's going to be available in the Slimy Blob chest, and this one looks super awesome. Definitely the art team told us to give everyone shout outs because this one, it's something that we've never really done before, but just the take, he looks so happy, but so intimidating at the same time. Clumsy, what do you think about this one?
This is a highlight skin right here. I've been so excited. We've seen this one in the game, and immediately everyone was like, you know what? I kind of want to play support today because I want to play this skin because it's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at that turnaround in game because as you can see in the card art, he's got the bits floating around and all those different bits have like animations that you can see just kind of bouncing around. So I imagine as he belly flops on things, he just kind of absorbs them into his blob and they just live with him now. That's him. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Blobkiss Bacchus.
If you come any closer, Blobkiss will suck you into its stomach.
Exactly
Oh
like
my
I was
gosh.
thinking. Belly flop right into the stomach. I'm loving the
yeah.
green on that skin too. Well, let's take a little bit of a walk on the darker side here and talk about Dark Lord Chalk is our next skin that's coming out in the Odyssey Reckoning event. And this one, like I said, is definitely on the darker side. Pawn, what do you think on this one?
Oh my gosh, I love any of these like black and red with like the glowing bits of like red on them. Like it just looks so cool. It's just a good color scheme, good art style. Love it.
Yeah, for sure. And as we go in game and kind of check out the turnaround, this one reminds me of who is that skin for? The older Sun Wukong skin reminds me. It's got the similar vibe there.
Right.
For sure. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack.
Death couldn't stop me. What hope do you have?
Ooh,
All
spooky.
right. And now,
Right.
the one everyone's been waiting for. We spoiled it a few weeks back, but the next skin from the Odyssey Reckoning that we want to show off is Gambit Queen Hera. And first of all, I have to give a super huge shout out to Rob Draws on the amazing concept. Floated around the community for a long time, got a lot of big reception, and we just decided, let's just give the people what they want. Like, let's make this skin happen. We made some treatments to Hera to kind of up it just a little bit more, but this skin just turned out amazing as we get ready to pull up the card art. Clumsy, what do you think about this one?
I mean, this is one of those skins where, like, it just makes you really want to play that god, I mean, like, Hera's a lot of fun anyways, but I don't see many people playing anything but this skin. I mean, from the card art to what you actually see in game, the model and the effects is just fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround, the model in game, because definitely the treatments that we did to both Hera, Argus already looks amazing. Hera looks amazing. This skin is just an A+ S tier skin. And I believe after we take a listen to the voice pack, we're going to go ahead and go in game and show you guys what it looks like. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack and we'll get in game to show you guys the abilities.
You could play against me, but Lady Luck has never left my side.
There we go. Lady Luck, there she is, Gambit Queen Hera. And immediately, all the basics look super awesome.
Yeah, the gold outlines with the red inside. And you can see that kind of with the other abilities as well. That's really nice.
I love how when the fist collides, the coins just kind of pop out like you hit a jackpot.
Yeah, you get the card suit motif on a lot of these, and it's looking really fine.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, look at that shield!
So
You've got the dice. Oh
Shield's
my
so
goodness. Good. Yeah, that shield is awesome. That looks amazing.
Like the
and I was gonna say on the polymorph, it looks like you've got the some hints of like some of the card suits as well. And of course, you've got Big Daddy Argus, the king of the casino.
Yeah, the fidelity on the model as well. It's like all the intricate details. And honestly, on both models, Hera, Argus, and skin effects, it's just out there. Well done.
Most definitely. The team killed it on all the different aspects: modeling, rigging, animation effects. This one looks super awesome. Coming your way in the Odyssey Reckoning update that is coming next week for the bonus part of it. And we've got one more skin that's coming your way in the bonus update. And this one is been floating around in the community for a little bit. People were wondering, hey, how do I get the skin? This one is Code Eater Bakasura. And I'm really digging this one. It's kind of in the theme of the old Codebreaker Osiris skin. It's kind of a mix of mech, sci-fi, space. And as you guys take a look at the card art, definitely looking clean there. Look at how he's just absorbing the other, I guess he was his friend at one point, but not so much now.
I've been waiting for this one. This one is so sick.
I actually am not sure
all the everything.
Oh, and it is looking awesome.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and pull up that turnaround video and take a little bit of a closer look at the model here. I'm definitely loving the accents, the red accents. And those blades look sick. And I'm not sure if those are wings or part of the shoulder pads, but I love how they're floating around, just kind of giving the sci-fi vibe there. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Code Eater Bakasura.
I escaped 6 different intergalactic prisons, but you think you can hold me back?
Nice. Well, that wraps it up for all the skins coming you guys' way next week in the bonus update for 7.9. So let's go ahead and talk about some community news. And Pawn and Clumsy, there's kind of a lot here. We got a lot to talk about. So if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to kind of start rattling through these. And if you guys want to chime in on anything, feel free. So first up, we just showed off Code Eater Bakasura, and he is actually going to be available for you guys in a new promotion that we are doing with Prime Gaming. So this is a 9-month-long promotion. There's going to be a different skin that you guys can pick up if you are Prime Gaming members for free, as long as you have your accounts linked. You'll want to make sure that you have your high-res and Twitch accounts linked, and that your Twitch account is linked to your Prime account. That way you can claim these rewards at gaming.amazon.com/smite, or the little crown icon that you guys see at the top right of your screen if you're watching on Twitch. You can click that once this goes live on September 23rd. So the day after the bonus update goes live, this skin will be available for you guys. And one thing that I have to note is that once a skin leaves the promotion, it's gone from the promotion, so you won't be able to claim it. So be sure to have your accounts linked and your memberships ready for the 23rd when the skin goes live. And as Pawn said, this one is awesome, so you guys definitely don't want to miss out on
it. Pawn endorsed.
All right. And speaking of Twitch, I definitely want to give you guys an update on viewer points. So we've heard a lot of you guys' feedback on viewer points and wanting to expand viewer points to other channels. The team, our game team, and our technical team have been looking into it for the past few months. And we're excited to announce that we are in a spot where we're ready to start rolling out viewer points to partner program member channels on a trial basis coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you're a member of the SMITE partner program, keep an eye on your email. You'll be getting a message from us with some more information on how to get involved and how to get started for when this trial launches. We're currently targeting when the 7.10 update goes live, but we're super excited to start opening up viewer points to some of our other partner program member channels here on Twitch. That way, if you're watching somebody in the partner program, you'll be able to earn viewer points just as if you're watching right here on SMITE Game. So speaking of another exciting thing that's coming out in the 7.10 update, October is their season to get spooky. And if you guys remember, we made a treatment to an old adventure map with a little bit of a spooky twist. So we're excited to announce that we're going to be bringing back Classic Joust in the 7.10 update. And we're actually going to be bringing back a couple of other adventures for the rest of the year. So Classic Joust will be for the 7.10 update. We are going to be doing Classic Domination for the 7.11 update. And then finally, Corrupted Arena will return in the 7.12 update. So Classic Joust will be enabled for this update. You guys will be able to reminisce and play on this map, and it'll be super fun. Clumsy, do you have any memories from the Classic Joust, either from back in the day or from when we brought the adventures back?
I mean, back in the day, with that, I just think immediately the thing was just like, this is just tryhards. That's where people went to go for. It's like, all right, 1v1 new WoW, old school new WoW, let's go. Let's see who can get this done. Sure. Joust was always the place. Old school Joust was always the place.
You love to see it. And speaking of kind of celebrating our past, we want to celebrate our future too. So we are already planning for our birthday event next year. And we're happy to announce that we're opening up community submissions for jump stamps, avatars, and global emotes to be given away for free during this birthday event, similar to what we did earlier this year for our latest birthday. So all the info on how to get involved with that and how to submit your art is on smitegame.com, pinned right there to the homepage. So if you're an artist and want to submit your work for a chance for it to appear in game, feel free to check those out. Almost done with community news, guys. Next up, we've got October is LGBT History Month. So to commemorate this, we're going to be adding a new bundle with a bunch of LGBT flags that you guys will be able to earn for free by getting a first one of the day. So there's going to be the transgender flag, the lesbian flag, the asexual flag, the bisexual flag, non-binary flag, and the pansexual flag, all available for you guys to earn in-game and equip coming up in this next update.
That is awesome.
All right. Definitely. Super awesome. We are super excited to get this done. And a couple more reminders before we wrap up community news. First up, the Voyagers log event is going on right now. Remember, there is a free reward waiting for you every single day, as long as you log in and play a game. That event ends on the 22nd, so be sure that you are logging in, playing a game to earn every day's reward. As you can see, we gave away some gems earlier. You can get some skin boosters, some avatars, global emotes, XP boosters. That event ends on the 22nd, so you don't want to miss it. And last but not least, we've got SPL coming your way this weekend. Last week was a bye week. I was definitely missing out on my SPL action, but the Phase 3 playoffs were awesome to watch. And speaking of the Phase 3 playoffs, the winners on the NA side, we've got a couple of people making their way up to the SPL. We've got some roster shakeups happening, specifically with E United and Renegades. So you guys definitely don't want to miss SPL this weekend to see the debut of those new rosters. That wraps it up for community news. I know it was a lot. Thanks so much for hanging in there with you guys. We're going to be talking about everything coming your way in the Trickster God update, but that was a lot. I need just a minute to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side of this video.
Well, hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. It's Gormizer here to talk to you about Godly Guides. This is a new series where we teach you how to play God's good and do other things good too, but really just the God thing. So make sure you catch our most recent video where we talk about the Wicked Witch of the Woods herself, Baba Yaga, and how to control the chaos she brings to the battlegrounds. All of this and more only on the SMITE YouTube channel.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody, for sticking with us. It is time to go over the 7.10 update and everything coming your way on October 2nd in the Trickster God update. Again, we're going to start things off with balance. I still got Pond and Clumsy by my side, and we'll go ahead and kick things off. And we're going to kick off with items first for balance coming your way in 7.10. And we'll start off with Atalanta's Bow. We're going to be decreasing the attack speed from 30% to 25%, and also decreasing that movement speed while attacking and strafing that you get after obtaining a kill.
Yeah, so the big thing here is we were looking at ADCs, especially after the mage ADCs were changed, with some nerfs directly to some of the characters as well as the Hate Ring stuff. And we were seeing that hunters now are actually in a much healthier spot, but there's a few items, especially build pass with attack speed, that are too effective. We want to tone them back without necessarily just removing them as as different playstyles. So Atalanta's Bow is the first nerf. It was very effective as a 20% pen item. We're just taking some attack speed and some of its passive strength off to see where it falls.
Cool. All right, since we're talking about hunter items, let's go ahead and talk about Silver Branch Bow, the other kind of hunter item we're taking a look at in 7.10. We're going to be decreasing the attack speed on the item by 5%.
Yeah, so like Pon said, hunters in this new itemization tree has seen a lot more play. Silver Branch Bow, we finally got that passive to a spot where I think people are finally excited about it. So we didn't want to touch the passive one more time, but we wanted to hit the base stat a little bit with an attack speed reduction. It's a small one, but this build is usually seen with a lot of these items together. So these small things will add up.
For sure, definitely. All right, let's make our way and talk about some warrior items here, guys. First up is Gladiator Shield, and this one it's almost to the point of a small rework here, which is pretty exciting. So I'll go ahead and read off the stats, and then we can talk about it. First of all, we're going to be decreasing the cost from 2,500 to 2,400, and then we're changing the passive to make it to where damage dealt is 15 plus 2 per level, to 15 plus 35% of your total protections from items, magical and physical, and abilities. And we're also increasing the bonus damage on the activation threshold from 50% to 60%.
Yeah, this item was really interesting because we reworked it to be a bit more aggressive, remove it from its more sustain-oriented previous iteration, but it just wasn't quite doing enough, and it scaled at weird paces, and there's no way you could really build into it. So now we're going to allow players who want to build like very bruiser, very tanky, to get extra damage late game when they build this after they build a ton of protections, or if their kit has some protections built in where they can actually like use a stim and use this, such as like Fenrir Brutalize. You could brutalize on someone and actually get this damage proc. So lots of cool stuff here, lots more interesting things to work with, different places it can fit into builds. Hopefully we'll see more use of it.
Cool. All right, next up we've got Emperor's Armor, and guys, I think Emperor's Armor is pretty good, but it hasn't been getting a lot of pickups in play here. So we're going to do a small buff here, increasing the physical protections from 40 to 50.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah, you hit the nail on the head there. We think Emperor's Armor is a pretty good item. We're always looking at the support items to see which ones we think we can tweak to give a little bit more love to. Emperor's Armor is one that we still really enjoy, and we think it can have its place, especially, obviously in Conquest. But with a little bit more protections, we think you'll see it a little bit more often, and that's all it is.
Cool. Isaiah's pro tip: Emperor's Armor first item in Assault is OP. Definitely start doing that, guys. All right, next up, we've got Hide of the Nemean Lion. Going to be seeing a nerf here, increasing the protections required per block stack from 100 to 120.
Yeah, so we changed it to now actually take care of your protections to give you block stacks to address squishy characters like Assassins building it as a one-off to get some block stacks. That worked, but it is still too effective. Certain characters and item combinations were triggering multiple block stacks very quickly. So we're just increasing the threshold a little bit so we can delay some of the stacks that you're getting. It's still going to be quite a potent item, but now it won't just be on so quickly into the game.
Cool. All right. Well, that wraps it up for 7.10 item balance. Let's start talking about gods, guys. We got a couple buffs here that are pretty exciting on her. Up first, we're making a change to Disperse. We're going to be decreasing the setup time on the ability and decreasing the leaf time. And I'll let Pon take this one.
Yep, so we use the term setup time and leap time. Setup time is the time from when you hit the button to when on her builds up his leap, so before he actually takes off, and then leap time is the actual travel time. So he's going to be taking off quicker, and he's going to be traveling to his location quicker. This is one thing that we've seen with on-her players where they feel like the leap is very telegraphed, very delayed. It's often difficult to get off in sticky situations, so we just want to make it a little bit easier, and that'll actually go into the next buff that we have on this list as well.
Yeah,
for sure. Let's hop right into it. The next buff for Apollo, we're doing a similar change to the moves, decreasing the setup time and the dash time on the ability, similar to on her Pon.
Yep, similar to on her. The moves had a build up time, so when you hit the button, he would wait for a little bit and then dash. That's quicker, and the actual dash itself is quicker. Just to make these hunters more responsive in their movement ability. We think they have a lot of room to be very viable right now, but these were kind of holding them back and making them difficult to use, especially at the high level. So these changes should help them out a lot.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some on her and Apollo in games here.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Ares up next. Bolster defenses. This is a pretty spicy one. Bolster
yeah.
defenses is now going to provide HP 5 to himself and allies in the aura, starting at 10, scaling all the way up to 30. And I'll let Clumsy take this one.
Yeah, so I mean, we've done a lot of things to help give Ares some love, especially in Conquest, right? It's because we wanted to get these buffs catered towards Conquest, because we know in Arena and other game modes he's already pretty strong, so we want to make these buffs, definitely catered towards the Conquest game mode. We had the Flame buff, we had the ulti buff, and now we have Bolster Defenses, one of the abilities that, the community has always seemed is a little bit weaker. So the HP 5, we think, will be a nice little touch here. It shouldn't affect the other game modes as much, and honestly, it's not too big of a bolster as well. So it's a small amount of HP 5 for himself and his allies, and it should help him out, in sieges and defenses.
Cool. All right. We'll keep it right on the Guardian train from Ares to Artio. We're going to be making a buff to Energy Surge, increasing the Energy Surge heal from 40 to 120, going up to 60 to 140 per enemy god hit. And this is actually a revert.
Yep. So RTO had a history of when she was launched, she was very strong. We did a whole bunch of adjustments, and she's kind of like gone back and forth since then. This is just a change where she has to be aggressive and very forward to get this heal off. So we want it to be more rewarding than it currently is, and we think that RTO is in a situation where she can actually have this type of buff, and it's healthy for the game.
Cool. All right, let's talk about mages now. Baron Samdi, we're going to be making a buff to Vivid Gaze, increasing the magical power scaling by 10%.
In a similar vein with some of these other changes, Baron Zombie, he had a lot of love before, and now after the set of nerfs, we're slowly bringing back the abilities that might make him survive a little bit better, especially in the mid lane for Conquest specifically. Vivid Gaze. Now, once you have a little bit more scaling, he'll translate that better early game that we've given him previously with the Vivid Gaze buff to a better late game.
Yep, focusing more on the mage style of his play.
Yep.
For sure. All right, Fenrir is up next, and he's going to be seeing a buff. First up, Unchained, going to be increasing the base damage on the ability, and then Ragnarok, we're going to be increasing the movement speed buff that he gets from 50% to 75%. Pretty significant.
Yeah, I believe this Unchained is actually a partial revert from a change when he was kind of like running the support role with that high base damage. Partial revert to help with clear and aggressive ganks, as well as Ragnarok, the extra movement speed to really chase down targets and potentially dive further in the backline than he would otherwise. It might look like a big buff because 25% is just it's 1.5 times what it was before, but movement has scaling DR at that point, so it's not really a 25% increase. It's closer to like a 10% movement increase or movement speed increase based off like how the math works out.
Cool. All right, next up, we've got Hachiman making a change to Eagle Eye. So long story short, TLDR, the ability is now going to deal the same amount of damage no matter how close or far away you are from your enemy.
Yeah, I mean, we all love some Hachiman. That Eagle Eye specifically, we were always very careful about because we had this difference between when you can hit people at close range and far range. We wanted to make sure that never felt too oppressive. But after, the years of playing Hachiman, I think we've come to the conclusion that it's probably okay for this just to deal extra bonus damage all the time in kind of the same way. We don't think this is going to be too much of a problem, and let's give it a try.
For sure. All right, next up on the list, we've got Osiris, going to be making a change to Sigil Strike, increasing the physical power scaling, and then Lord of the Afterlife, we're going to be actually increasing the max range of the ultimate ability by 10 units, from 55 up to 65.
Yeah, Osiris has traditionally run this kind of solo lane and been this very aggressive pick, but with a lot of the changes in Season 7 and how metas have shaken out, he just kind of always stayed on the more back burner, not really like super competitive viable. So we're just increasing the power of Sickle Strike, giving it a little bit extra scaling so it can be more threatening late game, and then Lord of the Afterlife giving him extra diving potential, more flexibility on the range and how far he wants to go into the enemy team, or escape if he needs to.
For sure. All right, we are nearing the end of God Balance, guys. Next up, we've got Circuit getting a buff here. We're making a change to Ambush, increasing the physical power scaling from 50% to 70%. And then Cobra's Kiss, we're going to be decreasing the cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds. Pawn, do you want to take a point on this one? Because I know you did some work on it.
Yeah, sure. So Circuit has a very long, complicated history. TLDR,
sure.
As a jungler, she's always been kind of pretty okay. As a support, when she is in the support role, she can be very, very, very threatening and kind of run the game. We did a lot of nerfs and adjustments to her, and the jungle's changed a lot since a lot of those situations. We want to bring back some strength now that we feel like she's fallen off in both support and jungle. And we want to focus those changes on being more aggressive and rewarding more aggressive play. So Ambush getting scaling increase will make it so that you're incentivized to leap in aggressively with high power builds. And then Cobra's Kiss, the lower cooldown, will just give more flexibility on when you gank and when you can control in team fights outside of just bursting down your single target.
All right, last up for God Balance, we've got Vamana going to be seeing a buff to Colossal Fury. We're going to be decreasing the movements penalty for attacking, backpedaling, and strafing by 20% while the ability is active.
Yeah, so we played a lot with Vamana's ulti and, giving that Atlanta-style effect towards hitting enemies with Colossal Fury, and we've buffed it, we've nerfed it. We wanted to find a middle ground where we thought, it might not be it's not too oppressive for the enemies, but it still helps Vamana. We wanted to add this new rule in, which is this Hastalis, like effect, because every time you're hitting someone with Vamana with that ulti, you're still slowing yourself down. Now you're doing that a little bit less, and maybe you won't actually need to buy Haste and Fatalis, or maybe Frostbound, one or the other.
Cool. Well, that wraps it up for all the balance coming in 7.10, and got some pretty exciting changes. Got some cool Hunter changes, a couple of cool Assassin changes, and Guardian changes as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to how things shake up when the update goes live on October 6th. So let's go ahead and start talking about some of the awesome skins and content that we got coming your way in the Trickster God update. And like I kind of hinted at earlier, we're nearing the season of tricks and treats. So of course we got to start talking about the Halloween chest, right guys? So the first skin that we've got up is Vampiress Amaterasu. And this is kind of the first really darker take at Ama. And she is looking really creepy. What do you think, Clumsy?
Yeah, it's definitely looking really creepy. I mean, the vampiric aspects, the blood dripping down the chin, definitely giving me some Halloween creepy vibes.
For
Who'd she murder with the sword?
Yeah,
you're right.
We'll probably be able to see the sword a little bit better as we go
in that glass,
and see that turnaround in game. There we go. I love the treatment on the sword, how it's kind of black and then gets a little bit more grayish, and the broken mirror is a nice touch.
The broken mirror is a very nice touch. I was just thinking that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sure. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Vampiress Amaterasu.
You dare to challenge an immortal daughter of darkness?
I do not dare challenge you, Vampiress Amaterasu. That one was super awesome. And we've got one kind of dark and creepy skin for Halloween, but we've got another one that kind of celebrates the dressing upness and the fun aspect of the holiday. Next up, we've got Pumpkin Spice Discordia. And she is looking super awesome. She's got her witch outfit ready, got a kitty and a pumpkin.
Cat.
The
It
cat.
looks so good.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I got to write the voice back, and I may have named little kitty cat after my little kitty cat. So we've got Lillykins.
Aww.
Nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround in game. And Clumsy, I'm sure you had a ton of fun writing the voice pack here. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Pumpkin Spice Discordia.
Despite the outfit, I am a real witch. So you better have some candy for me.
Is her ult the cat? She's holding the cat like the apple, so is her ult the cat?
It's the little kitty.
You know it is.
Oh my goodness, that's
good.
amazing. Well, that is coming your way in the Halloween chest, guys, when the 7.10 update goes live. But let's go ahead and kind of switch gears and start talking about the Odyssey Reckoning. We've got a few more awesome skins that are be coming in this update, and we'll kick it off with Gummy Worm Medusa. And I know Titan Cupcake, I can hear her screaming now. She loves all the candy-themed skins, and I'm definitely loving the treatment here. What do you think, Pawn?
Dude, rip all those people in the background. They're all
I
statues.
didn't even know. Oh, she just turned them into hard candy. Yeah, that's super unfortunate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround in game, because I'm super curious on how it's looking. Of course, the bright colors looking really, really clean.
The candy bracelet on the tail, that's so cool. There's so many cool touches here.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for this one.
There are so many sweets to pick from. Oh, how will I choose?
So it looks like she is definitely, she turns people into the candy so she can eat them later.
Exactly. No, I was piecing that together as well. It's like, wait a second, that's kind of
right.
Gruesome.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Next up in the Odyssey Reckoning, one that I'm super excited about, Sniper Tech Raw. You guys know me. You know I love all the mech skins.
Oh yeah.
And this one is super awesome. And I was told we have to go in game and show this one off because the ultimate is apparently super crazy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround before we get things ready. Pon's going to drive in game and show things off, but I'm definitely loving the stance and the armor treatments here. looking really good. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack before we go in game.
You want to see a big gun? Oh, I'll show you a big gun.
All right, let's do it.
I want to see it. I mean, I guess do the other abilities, but I also want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. One looking clean. Not too much going on. Oh, that's awesome.
I like the build-up. You can see the build-up on like the blind effects with that ability, which is sick.
Oh my gosh! I love how he just gets set and just like a gun just appears on his shoulder for a supercharged shot. Pawn blessing us with the slow-mo. Oh my goodness, that is so clean. Oh, that's awesome. Well, this one is going to be available in the Odyssey Reckoning update. So if you guys want the big gun that Sniper Tech Raw is shooting, be sure to start participating in the event here. And then we've got the reward skin coming up in 710 for the Odyssey Reckoning. And it is Primal Spirit Kernanos. And this one is kind of in the theme of some of our other Spirit 4 Spirit skins. This one, I'm definitely loving the symbols and like all the treatment. I love this card art too, with all the animal spirits kind of, you know, in the background.
Oh my gosh. I love all the animals.
Yeah, I love this line of skins, and they made this one seem like really, really different, which is really cool.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround here, because I'm super excited to see what it looks like in game. Yep, for sure. This is an insta-equip for me. Loving the aesthetic here.
Seeing the material in game, like it makes it seem so much cooler.
I know, right? Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack for Primal Spirit Kernanos.
Why did you come here with such intent? There are less painful ways to die.
There we go. So he is the protector of the forest. Seems like he's probably not out to kill you, but like if you run up to him and, you know, treat him the wrong way, he's definitely up to protect his homies. For sure. Well, that wraps it up, guys, for everything coming your way, content and skin-wise, in the 7.10 update. We know that you guys have been waiting for the Loki rework. We are ready to start going over it, and we will be right back to cover the Trickster God right after this break.
Alright, so you know how sometimes it's just a prank, bro? Well, that's where Loki comes in, the Trickster God. You see, some people might call someone who breaks the rules and takes what he wants regardless of who gets hurt a villain, but Loki prefers the term opportunist. And sure, it was foretold that Loki would play a part in the coming of Ragnarok, which would leave the gods slain, the heavens sundered, and the world in ashes, but he's not a bad guy, he's just misunderstood. Loki's such a prankster he could start a YouTube channel. Just ask Balder, the god of light. You see, Balder had a prophetic dream of his own death, so his mama went and made all objects in the world swear to never harm him. Only one object did not swear: mistletoe. Learning this, Loki went and forged a spear from the plant and gave it to Balder's brother. Now, the god's new favorite pastime had become throwing objects at Balder and watching them bounce harmlessly off. You see where this is going? Balder's brother threw the spear, and oops, Balder was impaled. So he died, and Loki was imprisoned. He was bound in entrails, and a big old serpent was put above him, where it dripped venom onto his face, causing him to shake the world with his anguish. So, #worth?
Well, that is the Trickster God for you. Just a little bit of a sneak peek into his lore. Shout out to Nevercake for the amazing video. It is time to start getting into the nitty-gritty of what's changing with the Trickster God and his rework. So I kind of wanted to kick things off and kind of throw to you guys, Pawn and Clumsy, just to talk briefly to me about Loki, his history, not only in game, but amongst the community as well.
Yeah, do you want to start, Clumsy?
Yeah, I mean, sure. This is a long one. We've done loads of different posts about it. I mean, we have the massive document talking about whether we want to do the Loki rework or not. I mean, Loki is definitely a super controversial god. He's one of the ones that there's a lot of people who have a massive fan base towards Loki, and there's a lot of people who just don't ever want to see him in one of your games. And I mean, I'm not going to disagree and say that like I'm not one of those people who likes to see Loki just backdooring and doing all those frustrating things and one-shotting me because I'm a mage player and oh god, get away from me. But I mean, so we took this chance and we wanted to get Loki. We wanted to still give him the feeling of Loki. He still behaves the same way he does. And we all wanted to make the mains happy. We wanted to make the people who play against Loki happy. And I think we've come together to compromise on the different abilities that we're going to see today. And we should, hopefully, everyone will be in some way happy.
Yeah, he is the stereotypical assassin. He's the person who stealth sneaks behind you, surprises you, and that's one thing I think people who really like Loki love, but also people who despise Loki hate, is that surprise aspect, that burst, the feeling of counterplay. He breaks kind of some of the rules that we have around like minion aggro and tower aggro. So the goal with this rework was to really try and keep that core feeling of him being this kind of surprise burst assassin who can jump and isolate a single target, but remove some of the frustration aspects, give people more counterplay opportunities, and give him a bit more teamfight presence so he isn't just the single target burst assassin. He has more tools available to him now, but they're not really impeding on necessarily other gods' niches. Just a little bit better than what he currently has. And I think we've come to a really cool compromise. People internally who've been playing him in these playtests have been loving him, saying they really like playing Loki now. So hopefully we've made everyone happy. We'll see, though.
All right. Well, I'm ready. I know chat's ready. Are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and go in game and kick this rework reveal off. And Pawn is our gracious driver today. And we'll go ahead and start off with general, and I'll kind of just touch on, we're just increasing the basic attack damage on the initial hit from 80% to 100%. Pawn, I'll let you kind of take the reins here and talk to us about this change.
Yep. So one thing that we did really early on during trying to balance Loki was we actually removed the burst from the first basic attack. That was because he could in-hand cancel, and that burst was just really, really high. So we took away a lot of the power of the in-hand cancel. But because this kit has different functionality now, we feel like he doesn't need that arbitrary penalty on him anymore. And he was really the only character in the game that had that kind of arbitrary penalty.
For sure. Cool. So as we start talking about the passive, I think the best way to kind of go about this is just talk about some of the new abilities and how the passive intertwines with those new abilities. So first off, before we hop into those, let's talk about Vanish just a little bit. Of course, this was all explained kind of in the blog post that we put out earlier in the year. But Loki, of course, will now fade into stealth. But now, if Loki takes damage while he is stealth, he's now going to be revealed for a short time.
So you can see right here, I hit the Loki.
There we go.
If he stealths, he will actually go, you'll see him for a little bit, and if you hit him with any sorts of damage, he'll be a little bit revealed. Good players are familiar with tracking the damage numbers. This little bit of extra visibility will help players learn that mechanic without giving too much away for the Loki player.
For sure. So just a short amount of time, if he takes damage while he is in stealth, he's got the little shadowy aura that appears in place of his actual model. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about Decoy into Agonizing Vision. So Decoy, no longer going to be the ability. It is being made into a new ability called Agonizing Vision. And Pawn, what's going on with this one?
Yep, so Agonizing Vision is now, rather than a dot that aggro, or a deployable that aggroes minions and then does an explosion, it does damage over time to anyone standing in it, and reducing the damage they deal when they're poisoned. Additionally, if they stay too long in it, they become blinded, and you can actually benefit from behind you with any direction. So you can see I'm actually getting the behind you bonus damage, even in front of this Odin after he's been blinded. And just so you can kind of see the blind, we'll have the Loki over here graciously cast it. It definitely obscures your vision, but you can still see things. So you can still make mistakes, but you might miss things in the chaos of a fight.
For sure. It's like he is sharing the poison that he has been, it's been dripping on his face. Now it's your turn to have a little bit of what he's been going through.
And one awesome note here as well.
Oh, go ahead, Quincy.
Yeah, I was just going to say one awesome note as well is that, all the skins have been updated with all these different things, and seeing the different effects and different post-process effects is a really cool job done by the effects team.
For sure, I didn't even think about that.
This one is really strong. For all those. I like the idea that we were able to bring in lore ties, which traditionally Loki's base kit actually didn't really have super strong lore ties to what he does in lore. But this lets you kind of see what he went through and underwent, and just the vision of seeing it, you feel that pain. So it's like shared pain. You understand more where Loki's coming from.
Definitely. Right.
You can empathize a little bit with the Loki player, is what you're saying.
Yep.
For sure. All right, let's talk about Aimed Strike. Now Flurry Strike. Loki is now going to unleash a flurry of daggers, 5 strikes really quickly. Pawn, if you want to show off the ability and if you guys want to go into what's going on.
Yep, nice. So Aim Strike specifically, when one of the problems that Loki had previously was he could stealth onto someone, auto attack, and then use aim strike to get that immediate reset to do another burst of damage. And that burst window was very hard to deal with. It was very hard to understand what was even happening to you. So now it's more of a longer duration channel clear ability that does damage if you can stay on the target longer. So it's 5 rapid strikes into a final big wind-up strike that slows and does more damage. And you can also see a cool interaction is from the front, I do normal damage, and from the back, I do behind you damage. So this ability not only synergizes with the passive now and is better clear for jungle or wave clear, but it also, if you do something like this where you blind someone, you can get the behind you proc from the front. So there's a lot more kit synergy inside the base kit itself.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things. There's, like we're saying, there's this kit synergy with these new abilities. Is also removing the frustrations, right? It's again the stuff with the blog post. So now the new 2, it's not there to taunt enemies. It's there for a completely different aspect. The new 3, it's not this instant strike of damage. It's spread out over time, giving enemies the ability to actually Aegis it. You know, we're just trying to slowly remove those things that made it frustrating to play against Loki, but giving him new things to help him out with it instead.
For sure. And I mean, it's not to say that, you know, the new Flurry Strike doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, especially if you got the behind you procs.
If you get the full channel off, especially from behind you, it does some damage. So try and interrupt Loki, try and get away, use your Aegis to avoid the final hit especially, if you can.
Loki's still very lethal, that's for sure.
For sure. Well, speaking of being lethal, let's go ahead and talk about Assassinate, the ultimate ability. So Assassinate, it's gonna pretty big adjustments here. It's now a kind of like 2-part ability with a teleport and into a secondary hit that now does an AoE stun. And I'll let Pawn take it away and show it off, and we'll talk about it.
Yep, so you can see he does the very similar things that he did before, where he actually teleports onto a target. You can aim it, you can teleport anywhere you want to, and when you lock on the target, you do an initial bit of damage. This initial bit of damage, rather than stunning like it previously did, now cripples, so the target can't leap away immediately. But most of the damage and the harder CC is actually on the follow-up hit. So you can see him do the kind of like wind-up cone into the big strike. These are the things that you want to try and avoid or Aegis or try and beat to get out of. One unique thing that Loki now brings is this is actually a pretty big stun area. So you can see there, I jumped on this Odin, maybe I want to stun this target, I can freely aim that. I jump on this Odin, I can stun these 2. Or if I entirely miss, I can jump to where I need to be in a teamfight position and aim it to try and hit as many targets as I can. So this ultimate not only has more counterplay for people who are playing against it, but Loki gets a lot of extra utility out of this. He can team fight if people are clumped up in really clever ways. He can force people to move together with this poison field so they avoid being blinded, and then teleport to get a whole bunch of stuns off. So again, sticking with the theme, extra control for Loki, extra telegraph for enemies to play around, new utility that he brings, so it's not just a perceived nerf for the feeling of things coming out a bit slower. He gets extra tools to make up for that feel more fair to play around.
For sure. Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like he's got, you know, just some more or different engage opportunities off of his ultimate now, which is really cool. Pawn showing off the kit just a little bit more. So as you're doing that, guys, now that we've gone through kind of most of the rework and what's going on, where do you guys see Loki now post the 7.10 update? Where do you think his playstyle is going to be, and what do you guys recommend?
So we've messed around a lot because we know that the place that he currently plays right now is kind of like this weird solo or supporty build because his jungle clear isn't quite good enough, and he uses like his split pushing. We've played him around in the solo lane, we played him in the support role, we played him in the jungle, and with this extra clear from Flurry Strike being a pretty effective clear tool, the 2 also being an effective clear tool because now it's not a pet, it actually benefits from things like Assassin's Blessing. His wave clear is a little bit more consistent. You can kind of brawl with people and not just rely on decoy. But I do think he's going to fall mostly to the jungle role.
Cool. What about you, Clumsy?
Yeah, I feel similarly. We've given him tries and playtests both in the jungle role and solo. I think one of our primary goals was definitely to make sure that he can thrive in the jungle, and I would say that that would be the best place for players to give him a try in. Just like Pon said, the abilities 3 and 2 can now clear the jungle pretty effectively, where previously, you know, each one had a different purpose. And his gank potential is still extremely high. It may not be as much of in a burst, but over time it's probably actually doing even more damage. And then he can carry that over into the late game. That's the most important thing. You don't feel as singularly, you know, close down when you've used all your abilities and that one person has left the battlefields on like 1 HP. You can actually contribute more to the fight with this new Loki playstyle.
For sure. Well, I am super excited for this rework, and I can't wait for the rest of the community to get their hands on the new kit, try it out, and tell us what they think. But another thing that I can't wait for the community to get their hands on is actually with this rework, we are introducing a new Loki recolor that is called Stealth Slayer. You guys might have seen it on the patch badge or on social media. We teased it out. But this recolor is going to be a standard recolor. You guys will be able to get it for favor or for gems, or for the first week of the update after it launches, you'll be able to earn the skin for free after getting 2 first wins of the day. So definitely
Nice.
Celebrating the Loki rework with an awesome new recolor. And I love the card art, but let's go ahead and take a look at the turnaround here to get a better look at what the model is going to look like. And I love the whites and blues here. What do you guys think?
Just so
that's a very
clean. I
swell
love it.
skin. I like this one a lot.
Definitely.
It'll look
looking
good by
super
using
clean.
the new rework.
For sure. Yep. I was going to say the exact same thing. Going to look good while you play with the new rework. Definitely looking super awesome. Well, that wraps it up for the Loki rework, guys. Do you guys have anything in closing that you want to tell the community about Loki before we close the show?
Just that it was really cool thing to kind of work on, where so many polarizing opinions exist about this character that we had to really collect feedback, really talk about like what we wanted to do. It's really rare that we get a chance to like explore it really that in depth, and like if you've ever seen the dev blog post be that long to explain why we're doing a change, and the iterative feedback where we got feedback from everyone. We did a second round dev stream talking about it. Just this whole process has been really, really cool to go through, and I hope really everyone enjoys this Loki rework.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any doubts, give Loki a try. I think you'll be very happy.
For sure. And I do have one final note before we close. I definitely wanted to address Loki and the rework and how we're kind of treating Loki being banned in like ranked and competitive play. So the current idea now in the direction that we're going is once the rework launches, he will be available for play in ranked immediately, but we will be competitively banning Loki for a couple weeks from the SPL, SCC, and SOC, just to give the pro players a little bit of time to feel out Loki after the rework before he hops right into competitive play.
Cool.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for the show, guys. Pond Clumsy, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with me for about an hour here and going over everything. Community, thanks so much for tuning in and watching. PTS targeted for this weekend on Friday, so be sure to keep an eye out on social media. We'll be sure to make announcements on everything that goes over for that. So be sure to take it easy, and we'll see you guys on the next one.